Good afternoon. Today, our topic is about web technologies. In that, we are talking about the DOM object model. The DOM is a W3C standard. The DOM defines a standard for accessing documents. The W3C document object model is a platform and language neutral interface that allows programs and scripts to dynamically access and update the content, structure, and style of a document. The W3C doc- document object model standard is separated into three different parts, that is core DOM standard model for all document types, XML DOM standard model for XML documents, HTML DOM standard model for HTML documents. And what is HTML DOM? The HTML DOM is a standard object model and programming interface for HTML. It defines the HTML elements as objects, the properties of all HTML elements, the methods to access all HTML elements, the events for all HTML elements. In other words, the HTML DOM is a standard for how to get, change, add, or delete HTML elements. JavaScript is an object oriented or object based language. An object, in short, is a set of variables, functions, etc., that encapsulate data and methods. For example, a set of objects encapsulate the elements of an XHTML document and defined to a JavaScript programmer. The methods that enable a JavaScript program to interact with the elements in an XHTML document. JavaScript also provides objects that encapsulate various attributes and methods in a JavaScript. Objects are grouped together and are given names. They may have properties or variables, numeric, string, or boolean, associated with an object. Method, which are functions associated with an object, and events, which notify that a particular event has occurred. Internet browsers contain many objects. Document object model. The objects are arranged into a hierarchy, and that is we are known as document object model. Here is the figure that indicates document object model. That is the window object, that is having screen, event, location, document, history, frame, navigator, packages, and all type of style sheets, body, script, selection, filter, form, anchor tag, and link, applet, image, embed, layer, and select text area, text, password, checkbox, radio, button, submit, reset, and hidden file upload option. These are different objects in an document object model. Firstly, we are knowing about the window object. The window object is the fundamental object in the browser. It represents the browser window in which the object appears. The properties include status, the contents of the status bar at the bottom of the browser window. For example, if we take window.status is equal to hi, it will display the string hi on the status bar. Second one, the location. The location and the URL of the document currently loaded into the window as displayed in the location bar. For example, alert window of window dot location will display an alert containing the location and URL of this document. Length, the number of frames, if any, into which the current window is divided. For example, alert window dot length will display an alert indicating the number of frames in the current window. Same like we are taking parent as well as the top. There are different types of methods include alert displays an alert dialog box containing text entered by the page designer and an OK button. For example, alert of hi will display a dialog box containing the message hi, confirm box, and a prompt box and a open box. And the events include different types of events: on load, on unload, etc. And the document object represents the HTML document displayed in a browser window. It has properties, methods, and events that allow the programmer to change the way the document is displayed in a response to user actions or other events. Document properties include BZ color, FZ color, and link color, A link color, V link color, and title and forms. And different types of methods include a write method, in which we write document dot write off, and there are form objects. When a form is created in an HTML document using the form tags, a form object is created automatically with properties, methods, and events that related to this form itself and to the events elements with the form. For example, if you take text boxes, buttons, radio buttons, etc. Using JavaScript behavior to buttons and other form elements that process the information containing in the form can be added. Form properties include name, method, action, length, submit, and form events include on submit. Message sent each time a form is submitted can be used to trigger actions. Example, calling a function. And fourth one is the text boxes and text areas, in which we use in within a form is an object in its own right, and each has its properties, methods, and events that can be accessed using JavaScript. For example, if you use a name, value that are included in the forms, and buttons, radio buttons, and checkboxes, it is having its own properties and uses. For example, if you take input, type is equal to button, name is equal to button 1, and checkbox is used, which is used with radio buttons and checkboxes but not standard buttons, indicates whether not the button has been selected by the user. This checkbox is named checkbox. We can determine whether it has been selected or not using the following code. For example, if you take any if condition and alert and else condition, if it is checked, it is a alert box is displayed. If it is not checked, alert box is displayed. And buttons, radio buttons, and checkboxes methods include focus, on blur, click, etc. And events include on focus, on blur. And other than that, the selection object is behaves in a very similar fashion to radio buttons. They represent several options, of which only can be selected at a time. They also have a similar set of properties, methods, and events. The principal difference from a programming perspective is that the selection boxes do not have a checked property. Instead, to find out which option has been selected, one must use the select index property. And other than this, there are different types of objects like a date object. It is containing get full year, get month, get date, get day, and like and so on. And the math so object includes square root of x, log x, max x comma y, minimum x comma y, and so on. And the string objects include bold, super, and sub. There are different types of methods, and these are about the window object. And tree, it is the tree structure of the DOM model is known as the node tree. All the nodes in this tree having the relationship with each other. For example, if you take a document, that is the root element, and HTML is the root element, and element is the head, and in this title is the child of head, and h1, and anchor tag and h reference are the attributes, and a anchor is the element, text is the attribute in which it is associated with the anchor tag. And the DOM nodes, according to W3C HTML DOM standard, everything in a HTML document is a node. The entire document is a document node. Every HTML element is a element node. The text inside HTML element are text nodes. Every HTML attribute is an attribute node deprecated. All comments are comment nodes. Node relationship. What is the relationship between a node and its corresponding nodes? The nodes in the node tree having a hierarchical relationship to each other. Hierarchical means here parent, child, and siblings are used to describe these relations. In a node tree, the top node is called the root and or root node. Every node has exactly one parent except the root, which has no parent. A node can have any number of children, siblings, brothers or sisters, or nodes with the same parent. And this is the diagram in which we are indicating HTML as the root element, and head is the first child element, and the title is included in the head, and body is another child element. H1 and P are the tags which is included in the body, and HTML is the close one. Here we can see the diagram in the figure. Child nodes to HTML and siblings to each other. And HTML DOM access nodes. We can access a node in three ways: by using the get element by ID, by using the get elements by tag name, by navigating the node tree using the node relationships. The first one, the get element by ID method. This method returns the element with the specified ID of the element. For example, if you take a syntax like a document.get element by ID, ID is the attribute which is mentioned in the parenthesis. That the get elements by tag name method. This method returns all elements with a specified tag name. For example, if you take a syntax, the document.get elements by tag name, and it is presented in the parenthesis like a tag name. Navigating node relationships. The paragraph indicates ID is equal to intro is the first child node, first child of the body element, and the division element is the last child node, last child of the body element. Furthermore, the body tag is the parent node. The first child property can be used to access the text of an element. X is equal to document.get element by ID, that is we are indicating main, and var text is equal to x dot first child dot node value. It indicates the first child node value. Here is an example for document object model. We are writing HTML as a root node, and head is inside the HTML, and the title document object model, and body indicating light blue. We can see the outputs. See the text within title tag, that is one type of output, and try it. And second is the screen. Before going to that, firstly we indicating all the tags in the script tag function, my function name, and x is equal to document.get elements by tag name, and get element by d1. Here we are indicating d1 dot inner HTML, and we are trying to close the script tag. Body h1, see the text within the title tag. Paragraph id is equal to d1. Button on click is equal to my function, try it, button close. we can see see the text within the title tag, and try it button, and we can clearly observe the outputs at the right side. And navigating the node tree. The three properties parent node, first child, and last child follow the document structure, and allows short distance travel in the document tree document structure. Here we can clearly observe head, title, and style. In India indicates color blue, and WB indicates color red. Here we can see clearly in the body that indicates India is equal, ID is equal to India, that is child node of the body indicates the blue, and WB ID is equal to WB, and Nadia and Kalyani, that indicates the first child node of division and second node child of division indicates the red blue, because we are indicating ID is equal to India, that is in blue, and ID is equal to Nadia, and ID is equal to Kalyani, that is in the red color. These are we are concluding, that is DOM model advantages and disadvantages. Advantages are robust API for the DOM tree, relatively simple to modify the data structure and extract data. And these are the disadvantages: stores the entire document in memory. As DOM was written for any language, method naming conventions don't follow standard Java programming conventions. And thank you.